How's it going, everybody? GodBaer here. Once again, thank you for clicking into one of my videos. We are back on our Madden 18 online league. We, of course, are still the Baltimore Ravens entering Season 2, showing you guys the roster update. We're going to have a much more balanced offensive attack, and then our defense is that much nastier. You see that we are going to play a low overall free safety. Jimmy Smith turned 30 years old, so we moved Chuck Clark, who was our free safety last year, our rookie sensation, as we almost throw a pick early on in this game. Chuck Clark was a 66 overall to start, and you saw he's in the 90s now. That man surpassed our expectations, getting 15 interceptions in Season 1, and his growth was absolutely incredible, as right now we're getting sacks. That time it was Matthew Judon, and of course MVP of Season 1, Tevin Coleman, is always going to be the focal point of our offense, getting this first down because he's that much of a monster, nearly a 99 overall. I know we're going to get him to that in Season 2, as Mason Rudolph, he didn't have the greatest of years. You saw that we picked up Drew Brees, but Drew Brees is purely a backup plan. Just in case Mason Rudolph doesn't do well or doesn't start well in Season 2, we're going to go ahead and, like I said, use the backup plan, which is Drew Brees. He is much more accurate. He's a little bit less mobile. Mason Rudolph has that 78 speed. Drew Brees only has 67 speed, which I guess is significantly less, but right now, bad throw by Russell Wilson, who is on the Atlanta Falcons. And if you guys saw the running back, it is not Devontae Freeman. It is Christian McCaffrey. And this is Tevin Coleman's back to return to his home team, which was, of course, originally the Atlanta Falcons. We're going to give him a dose of what he traded us and show that he shouldn't have traded him to us because, one, we won MVP with him. We got all the way to the Super Bowl pretty much just riding on the back of Tevin Coleman because we only threw 11 passing touchdowns with Mason Rudolph with 14 interceptions, which was not good. But regardless, it is a 3-3 game, and I'm not liking these sacks. Of course, still trying to improve my passing reads. I feel like that's the main part where I struggle in, I guess, passing. I feel like my plays are good, I just don't play enough Madden to get the reads, as our user god, 6'5", 88 speed Sean Bradshaw, our fourth pick in the first round, was that man. I know we chased him a little bit, he was like a 5th round projection, but we wanted to go ahead and pick him up to make sure we had that user, since we did trade away CJ Mosley and he got his first hands on an interception. And right now, that man right there, George Jenkins, a rookie defensive end, he is a monster. I will tell you guys that, as right now we still got these DBs. That one is Marlon Humphreys, and now Tevin Coleman hitting this outside. Probably should have truck sticked him versus trying to juke inside, but regardless, we thought we had an open wide receiver in Washington right there, but Desmond Trufant cuts him off at the last second of that play. So unfortunately we throw our first interception, but George Jenkins gets himself another sack. 3rd and 18. Russell Wilson's going to roll out. We're going to click in that right stick, send somebody. He's just going to throw the ball out of bounds and then give it back to us off a punt. And now Tevin Coleman gets lit up a little bit. But regardless, we're up 3. Any sort of points is going to do well right here. But of course, we ultimately want that touchdown just to go up 2 possessions. And right now, thank you for running into your own dude, because it's going to help catapult us down nearly into the end zone, down at the 1-yard line. So we're going to hit him with the I-form toss, which is my go-to play for goal line. I feel like I get it at least 8 out of 10 times, and the only time I don't get it is if you play outside, and that most likely will mean that I'm going to go ahead and counter it by audibling to the inside run. But you saw George Jenkins once again getting another sack, and now Mason Rudolph with that 78 speed showing off those legs. And now 3rd and 7. Didn't really have anything open, maybe square, but we take a sack, punt him the ball away. And I do want to share with you guys that I absolutely love playing defense, especially with these new rookies that we have. We drafted 4 80 overall rookies, one of them being a 79. It was the defensive end which we turned defensive tackle in Sherrard Omame. He was a 69 overall as a defensive end, but a 79 overall as a defensive tackle as Jonte Banks, the very first draft pick of this rookie draft, of course, that we got. We ain't only going to use him in streaks to take over the top of the opposing defenses. We can drag him and he can cut off field with that 96 speed, 96 acceleration. And that man also has 88 elusiveness. So we literally got our hands on a Tyreek Hill type of player. We will try to build up his speed if he wins any awards, just because of course he's already an 80 overall. And we only had one 80 overall wide receiver all of season 1, as the Atlanta Falcons do get their first touchdown of the game, just finding a nice wide receiver down the middle of the lane. And now Jonte Banks just trying to get his hands on the ball as many times as we possibly can. Probably should have cut up right there on 3rd and 2, but we didn't think the wide receiver was going to release the outside block and go inside. But either way, we still have a 13-point lead, and we're causing fumbles, not recovering it, but 2nd and 16. Russell Wilson is looking for somebody. We're going to go ahead and cover everybody. Matthew Judon gets another sack, and then 3rd and 25. We're going to go ahead and be right there for it. Break it up, try to get our hands on it, just off the little bit of a tip drill. And 4th and 25, he will go for it, throwing it. And unfortunately for him, his wide receiver does drop it. And now Jonte Banks on a wide receiver sweep gets a touchdown. So he's got a receiving and rushing touchdown, just to add another party trick to our hat of plays. Just another method, and I guess showing how universal our new wide receivers can truly be. We got a speed burner wide receiver just to give us another threat outside of Tevin Coleman, because that was our only weapon in season 1. There was no being scared of the Ravens offense without the fact that we now have Jonte Banks, as well as Josh Gordon, Kendall Wright, TJ Jones, Bruce Ellington. Like, we are stacked on offense and defense. And speaking of defense, we got 380 overall rookies on here. Our middle linebacker in Sean Bradshaw, our outside linebacker in Martinez Root, and of course the defensive end that is now defensive tackle in Sherrard Omame. But I'm happy that we get to start off the season with a win. Of course, we're going to try to do our best to go undefeated in this one. We lost 2 games through the regular season in season 1 and made it to the Super Bowl, but lost pretty badly, and we can just chalk that up to not playing the Dallas Cowboys in any previous matches, so we were not expecting the rollout, playmaking, high point passing. But I've never lost to anybody in back-to-back games, so hopefully we can meet them in the Super Bowl again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time everybody, GodBaer out.